Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're just gonna jump right into the video all about plants. Exciting, right? No? Oh, well, this is awkward. Okay, to start off, always make sure you have the essentials: a trowel, gloves, and pots, either plastic or clay, whatever you prefer. There are also false bottoms for the planters in case you're keeping them somewhere where you don't water on. Can't forget about that soil either. I always go for one that is good for draining, so I don't drown my plants. A quick tip: if your pot doesn't have these holes on the bottom, you can always take rocks and fill the bottom about an inch, so water can drain properly and the roots have space to grow. I also have regular kitchen scissors and a measuring cup to scoop out the soil. These little guys weren't planted right away, so as you can see, one of the flowers had wilted. All you do is take some scissors and cut off the bad one below the wilted flower. If you're unsure if the flower is wilting, take a look at some of the other flowers to get an idea if you need to cut it off or not. I also keep the plant cards as I tend to have a bad memory, and also on the back of each card, they tell you how to take care of your plants properly. For example, what type of soil, pH levels, description of the plant, how big they get, how much light they need, and so on. They are very handy in my opinion to hold on to. It's time for me to get dirty. You can always wear gloves when dealing with soil, but it personally doesn't bug me not to have any on. I promise bags of soils aren't like Lay's chips. They do come pretty full to the rim of the bag. This soil also has been sitting out for a few days, so it usually doesn't look as dry as it does when you first purchase it. Now it's time to start filling up. I usually end up distributing the soil nicely around after every cup of soil I put in. As you can see, there's a line that gives you an indicator of where the soil should stop. You don't want your plants to be overflowing out of the pots themselves. Next part is to start putting the plants in and getting an idea of where they will sit in the pot. A quick tip is to make sure your pot is big enough. If you put too many flowers in one pot, they will fight for space. That goes for any type of plant as well. Also, be aware of what type of plants can grow together. All of the flowers used in this video work well together, as two are marigold species and the other is a garden mum. Be aware that it might take a few tries to fit the flowers in nicely. With the garden mum, for example, it sits really high compared to the other flowers. This is when that trowel will come in handy, or you can just use your hands. You want to dig in the soil to make a hole for the flower to be level with the others. You want them to all grow at the same pace. When you're done fitting all the flowers in, make sure to add soil so everything is evenly covered. You don't want any holes, as that will be where most of the water will go, rather than to all the plants. Now it's time to water. A quick tip is that plants outside are going to need way more water than inside plants, so be sure to thoroughly water them. You want to water them until you see it come out the bottom. Along the lines of watering plants is knowing when to water them. A quick tip is that some plants like being in dry soil. If you stick your finger in the soil about an inch deep and it's bone dry, give it some loving, and by loving I mean water. Sometimes the soil can look like it has moisture, but still, always check to make sure. Inside plants are a bit easier to manage as they don't require as much water because they don't have to deal with the weather. A quick tip is that don't be like me and not turn your plants. Rotate them so they grow nicely. They will follow the sun. Another quick tip is that inside plants are picky. Sometimes they love their spots so much that if you move them, they'll start to die. So find a nice place for them and keep them there. I also find that inside plants take less water, and I can usually fill up this measuring cup and it will work just fine. Well, I think that's it for my tips and tricks for plants. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel for more content like this and like the video. Also, if you have any tips and tricks for plants, please feel free to put them in the comments below. Bye!